All right, guys, today we are going to learn about bar graphs. So what your first question is probably going to be is, what is a bar graph? A bar graph is pretty much when you take a bunch of information and you stick it all together so that way it's easier to read by just looking at it instead of having to sit here and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't want to do that. No, we want to be able to look at something like there are 4 of these and 5 of those. A bar graph is going to make it where you can do that. With a bar graph, you have to know how many of something and what that something is. It's all the information you need for a bar graph. All right, so let's make a bar graph. I'm going to show you what it would look like. All right, so a bar graph to begin with, you're going to have your what is it. That's going to go down here. What is it? It can be your gender, it can be your shirt color, what shoes you wear, how tall you are, your favorite colors. What are we talking about? That's going to be down here. And then the next part you're going to need is, well, we're going to have to know how many of something there is, right? So that's where this goes. This is going to be your numbers. How much of your thing do you have? And then you're like, well, how do we know what's what? You're going to fill in a bar. This is your bar. You're going to fill this in to whatever number that it matches to. So for fun, we're going to say this is 5. And we're going to say this is 3. So if we have 5 of this one and 3 of this one, can you look at this and tell the difference? Yeah, you know this one is going to be more than that one. So let's make a real one. Let's look at a real graph. All right. So I want to make a graph on gender. How many boys? How many girls do we have? So this is going to be my boys. That's my first thing, right? And then my second thing is going to be my girls. How many girls do we have? This is my what is it? This is what the whole graph is telling me about. Now, when you decide your numbers, you're going to want to take into account how many of each person there are. You do not always have to go by ones. You can go by 5s, 1s, you can go by 2s. Because of how many of you we have, I am going to go by 2s. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Okay? So let's count and see how many of each we have. Are you ready? So if I'm counting my boys, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many boys do we have in here? We have 8 boys. So I'm just going to write 8 boys right here for now until we get all of our information, because we need all the information before we start drawing, right? Let's see, how many girls do we have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 girls. So how many students are there in total? What is 8 plus 7? 15, that's absolutely correct. So we have a total of 15 students. So let's draw our marks. Can anybody, what number are we drawing for the boys? We're going to number 8. We find the number 8 on our numbers and we draw our bar. That bar shows 8. All right, and then for our girls, we have 7. So we find 7, well, it's not on there, but we know 7 comes after 6, but before 8. So we draw our line and make our bar. So we have 7 boys and 8 girls. Now, just from looking at the graph that we made together, what is some things that you can look at this graph and you know? Who do you have more of? We have more boys. Who do you have less of? That's right, we have less girls. All right, so now I want us to make a graph together. I did that one. I feel like y'all know what we got going on. So what do we want to make our graph about? Raise your hands. Okay, you want to do it on shirt color. It's a good choice. So let's decide what color shirts we want to use. Raise your hand. All right, we want to use black. What other color do we want to use? We want to use pink. All right, we're going to do two more. What's another one? We're going to use green. Good choice. All right, and last one, we're going to use white. Awesome, love it. All right, so these are our colors. Black, pink, green, and white. And we're gonna put shirt over here so we know what we're talking about. Okay. All right, now we gotta do our numbers. So, what number do you think we should go up to? Well, first off, what number do you think we should count by? By ones, most definitely. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you think we should go up to 6, guys? Yeah, me too. All right, 6. All right. If you're wearing a black shirt, I want you to stand up and stand in that corner. If you're wearing a pink shirt, stand up and come to this corner. If you're wearing green, I want you to stand up and come in this corner. And if you have on a white shirt, you're going to stand in the middle. All right? So, I want each group, look around, and count how many people are in your group. And then you're gonna pick one person to tell me the number when I ask. All right, I'm gonna give you guys just a second. All right, my friends with black shirts. How many do you have? You have 3, all right. So we're gonna draw our bar up to 3. All right, my pink shirts, how many do you have? You have 5, all right. We're gonna draw our graph all the way up here, that 5. Make our bar. Green, how many do you have? You have 2. All right, so we're gonna draw up to our 2 and make our bar and bring it back. All right, and then my white shirts, how many do you have? You have 6. Very nice. So we're gonna find our 6 and we're gonna make our bar. Now, looking at our bar, boys and girls, who has the most? So most is gonna be our white shirts. All right, take a look at our graph. Who has the least? That's right, it's gonna be our green shirts. And how many do they have? They have 2. Good job. All right. So, is there any other information that you can pull from this chart by just looking at it? Do you think that white's the more used color in our class? That's right. Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna leave this graph that we've done together, I'm gonna leave this up on the board for everyone to look at. All right, I want us to talk about some of the other things in our room that we could graph on a piece of paper. So we're gonna make a list of all the things that you can make a bar graph out of, and I will put that back at the end. All right, so raise your hand if you see something in the room that you think we would be able to graph. Hair color, that's a good one. All right, what's another thing? Shoes, that's very good. All right, what's another one? Our pants, yeah. Some of us are wearing shorts, some of us are wearing pants. All right, what's another thing? Our eye color, that's very good. That's a good one. All right, So you can pick whatever you want from our list. And then you also have the opportunity to create something on your own. But what I want you to do is you're gonna go to your seat with this piece of paper and you're gonna make me your own personal bar graph about whatever you want to pick and make a graph out of. All you need are two things to compare and to know the number of what your thing is. So if we only have one thing, can we make a bar graph out of it? No. You have to have at least two or more things. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass out our paper and you're gonna walk to your seats. All right, and now walk to your desk now. Okay, and so things that you would see that you did not see in my video is our pre-assessment, which was each student came in to a bar graph on their desk. They looked at the bar graph and they pulled as much information out of it as they could. And then I took it up, I saw what they already knew, saw what they needed to learn, so I knew where to focus the lesson. And then you would not have seen our post-assessment, which is basically going to be when they take the graph back to their seat. I want to see, compared to where they started, how they're ending. So, did they learn something new? Did they get confused in our lesson? These are things that I would be looking for in our post-assessment. But that is going to be, we also would have missed, I have a game on their computer that they're going to get to play. So that would help them decide how to make graphs. But that is all. Thank you for watching my video. You have a wonderful end of the class year.